I don't want to go onto the stage because then you expect me either to sing, to perform, or to preach, and I'm very scared of that. So I'm just going to be amongst the people where I think I'm the most comfortable. So firstly, I think, Vanessa, I'd like to acknowledge you. I thought that I was going to meet Vanessa a couple of weeks ago and inspire her. And then she pulled the trick on me, and she actually inspired me. So for a very, very large proportion of my life, I have inspired the world to do certain things. And then I came to Heideveld and toe kry ek goed op my moer polities. Because I met someone, and I've spoken since that day across this country about meeting a person that is the soul of a community. And that inspires me. And if I ever thought that there was a moment in my life that I needed someone to just take me out of my bubble and show me what we, the people, are facing, it was that day, Vanessa. So I'd like to acknowledge you tonight for welcoming and bringing me here. Then to our chair, John, it's great to speak with you. It's great to meet you face to face. En is goed om in jou oë te kan kyk en 'n mens te kan sien. So I would like to thank you very much for this opportunity. For the rest, good evening and salam alaikum. To everybody that had your Eid Mubarak last week, I was in anticipation counting the days with you. There's a lot of people that obviously work with me, that are in the Muslim faith, that have to fast. I have a lot of respect, but I was counting down the new moon. So one of my protectors actually phoned me and he said to me, "We've seen it." So I said, "Eid Mubarak." So to those that went through the journey, blessings from your side. My name is Neil de Beer. I think by now the country has woken up to the fact that time for change has come. Tyd vir verandering het gekom. And where I really saw it was when we started 6 months ago the journey of change. Was when I stood last week in Soweto. I went back home. Ek het terug huis toe gegaan where my ANC ideology, where I started in 1989 as a young MK commander here, joining the struggle. I was back at Soweto, on the back of a bakkie, speaking to more than 200-300 people that came. And when we left Soweto, we understood one thing. Everybody is hurtful, no matter where you come from. So I'd like to start there. Who am I and what am I? I'm you. I am you. Ek is jy. I might come from a different background. I might come from a different scenario of era. But when we fought with the barrel of a gun, as Umkhonto says, when we blew up and fought a regime, we did it for the people. I did it for the people. And the weird thing is, I'm one of those that did not have to because I was seen as privileged. I gave up privilege in 1988 because we wanted something called dignity. We wanted dignity for people. The dream was a rainbow nation. The dream was dat almal van ons, maak nie saak van waar jy kom, wat jou kultuur of jou ras is nie, dat ons in 'n reënboognasie in hierdie land kan saamstaan. Dat ons apartheid, HATE, terug kan sit. Dat mense nie meer in slote, in hokkies en in areas van modder en koue te hoef te bly nie. That we would change this nation to something where me and you, for once in our lives in humanity, can have dignity. That's the fight. I bought into it. I stood with Madiba. I worked with him. and we worked together. Do you remember the great day in 94 when we got freedom? Ek weet nie waar julle was nie. Ek weet waar ek was. When we voted, I was in Sea Point, sir, standing in a queue as a member that brought through the liberation struggle freedom that I and you can vote. Vote. I remember that day. It was a koue dag. 27 April, 94. And then we had my president, my boss, my dad. I remember standing, Vanessa, and going, so help me God. And then we had freedom. 27 years later, this is where we are. 27 jaar later, Vanessa, what happened to us? Wat het met ons gebeur? Well, we have to, how are you? We have to tonight be honest with each other. They say the truth shall set you free. Die waarheid verlos jou. Now here's a couple of statements, and Vanessa, I doubt anybody here will disagree about the following 5 truths of where we are. The time for political correctness in this country is over. Dis verby. Because we are currently living a lie. We are living a lie. I, as a person that used to be in leadership, I that followed this cause of setting this country free, that has been a member of the African National Congress for more than 30 years, working with the greatest of the great leaders and seeing them fall and seeing them pass from Madiba to Uncle Katie to Judge Mosa. I've seen all of my leaders slowly but surely die. And those leaders died with a perception that they're leaving a country which they fought for, that they died for. Judge Mosa said to me, one day, his biggest dream is to return to District 6. That's his words. Judge Mosa died not seeing it. Hy's dood. He never went back to District 6. Neither did anyone else that was forcibly removed from there. It was a promise we made. We failed. We took people away and we put them, which is now regarded as a flatser. And we left them there. Now they're dying. How are they dying? Well, drugs, gangsterism, murder, poverty, and no education. And Vanessa, today, we are still in shacks. Are we not? We are stealing power because they're not giving us electricity. They are not giving us toilets. They make people walk for a kilometer for water. And they don't feed us. Now, if you expect a politician, you're at the wrong place. Because what you've got here is a major, huge ball of an activist that happens to be a global business leader now. That's it. So I am not a man that can stand in front of my people, which is you, which is our people, and lie. Want ons het genoeg gehad van leuns. I think it's time for straight talk, Vanessa. The only difference between you and me is that with respect, when you talk, it's a community. When I talk, it's the world. That's the difference. They hear me now in Spain, Russia, Europe, hulle luister so ver as Dubai. Inshallah. So I am speaking now and using now my international platform to cry out to the world, to tell them what is happening in this beautiful country of ours. Because we're living a lie. Ons lewe 'n lieg. What is the lie? That everything's okay. That everything will be fine. That you will go and give the people that put us here another 5 years. Pragtig gaan ons weer die kloppe op ons deure hoor en ons gaan vir hulle sê, nee, dis alright. Julle kry nog 5 jaar. Ja, we are going to do it. En ons sit hier en ons gaan dit aanvaar. Because just another 5 years. So kom ek begin nou met die dia. Da. Die dia is da en ons die mense is hier. Daar's hy. Da. Ek wil begin met 'n ou wat nou elke keer as ek praat blykbaar 'n hartaanval kry. So hier kom jou 6de hartaanval. Dan Plato. Hierdie een is vir jou. Ek het jou gister gemoer, ek het jou donderdag gemoer en ek gaan jou weer vanaand moer. En ek moer jou aan mekaar. So Dan, jy moet vir my hoor. Dis ons mense. Jy moet reguit praat. Ek het gedink Dan Plato gaan 'n verskil maak in die Weskaap, want hy is ons mens. He's been here, Vanessa. He's been running here. He ran to Grabo. He ran to the Strand. When they burnt and died, they were there. I didn't see mayoral cars. Nie kan ek gesien nie. Failure, Meyer. He's a failure. Maar julle gaan hom weer instem. Ons gaan hom weer instem. Because this city works for you. What a joke. The city works for you, John. You've been to Luandre, Kayamandi, Bellar, nee. Kom sommer Heideveld toe. Jy hoef nie ver te ry nie. They want to remove our people. They are removing us. They are removing us in Strand, in Zamoyetu, and they're going to try in Heideveld. They're going to try. That's why you had to go to court. Can you imagine in a country like ours, in a land soos ons in, you've got to go to court to protect people's life. Dis 'n godskreunde skande that we have to send advocates, attorneys, and legal briefs to stop people from being evicted. How we have failed as humanity. How we have failed as society. I thought I've fought enough. Ek het gedink ek is nou klaar. Ek het my AK neergesit. Ek het my bomme gelê. Because I thought we had freedom. It seems I was wrong. Mandela said, if they do to you, which the apartheid government did to us, then do to them what you did to them. This country has lost hope. This country is angry. And this country is in fear. I am a normal man, like you, that 6 months ago got up and said, enough is enough. Genoeg. And I got up. So we got attacked. My family kry op hulle hel. I get threatened. Is it worth it, Ma? Is this country worth it to now stand up and fight against the people that you thought gave us freedom? Some of you sitting here are community activists. Some of you here fight for your community. Some of you are volunteers fighting. Is dit nie 'n verskriklike, partymal onnaakbare, onverdienste werk wat jy doen? You know what I find out, and that's where I inspired myself with Vanessa, is I thought I'm the only one that does a good deed and then gets punished. I thought so. I thought I'm the only person that gets up in a community, feeds a community, clothes a community, pays for a community, and dan word jy nog in die rug gejab.
I'm not alone, because no good deed in the world gets unpunished. Môre voer ons weer mense. Môre voer ons weer 5000 mense in hierdie stad. Ons voer weer môre. I don't know if you know it, for the past 8 weeks we fed 5,000 people a week. Nou word jy nog steeds vermoed. Jy word nog steeds pakslag. Why? You are trying to do humanity. In the Quran it says, if every neighbor helped the neighbor, there would be no help needed. Ek sê dit weer, in die Quran sê dit, as elke buurman help, dan het niemand hulp nodig gehad nie. Dis wise words, hè? Why you not? Why are we not? I'll tell you why. We have become a society of ek is alright. Ek kyk na myself. En as die ander ook pak kry, dan los ek. I find it sad.
So from my point of view, sorry, I'm a retired Major General. I use actually worse words in the battlefield. It's time that we realize who we are. Where are you Friday night? Where will you be Friday night? You. At home. Where will you be Friday night? You. You.
And you? Ask me the same question. I will have a bulletproof on, I will have a gun, and I will be in Mitchell's play, like I have been for 2 months. Ask me doing what? Shooting people. Who? Gangsters. Doing what? That commit crime and murder. That's what I'll be doing. You'll be doing what? Not me. 1 year, 9 months, I was head of a task force. 50 men and women. We go out and go fix them. What will you be doing? Speaking about fighting crime, blah blah. No. You must go fix them. There's no more time for excuse and lame prayer. You hear me? They're taking our children. They're taking our children. And you sit and you pray. Well, I am the person probably you are doing dua for. I am the guy you are praying to intervene. Because the police have capitulated. How's law enforcement going in your area? Good? John is going well? No. So when you speak about fighting crime, we are. Shafi. Oh, we are. How do we do it? Well, we support the police. We give them 30 extra people at night.
And we go find them. We find them well. So Neil de Beer, 1 year, 8 months, every weekend, out. Me. How's Dan Plato doing in law enforcement? Well. Jonathan Steinhuisen in a bulletproof? Ah. Huh? Juju. Uju. Julius. I call him Frikkie Malema. How's Frikkie doing in crime fighting these days? Sorry, he's a commander-in-chief. Of what? Well, you allow him to be it. I told him the other day, Vanessa, good overall. Overall is a good beginning. It's just the color that must change to orange. Red is not his color. Put him in jail. Nee, moet tronk toe gaan. 1.9 trillion rand. Do you know how much money that is? Trillion. Not billion, not million. Trillion. It's a billion. Can you tell? They say it will take you 9 months if you start at 1 to a billion. 1, 2, 3. To count to a billion, 9 months. How much to a trillion? A trillion. That's what they stole. Hulle het dit gesteel, Suid-Afrika. We found now, at the Zondo Commission's accusations of stolen money, 1.9 trillion rand. Do you know what is the total budget of South Africa per year? The budget of government, do you know what it is per year? It's 1.3 trillion. They stole South Africa's budget. But it's okay. We're going to give them another 5 years. Maybe they'll pay it back. Jy lieg vir jouself. They just found 14 billion gone. We found another 14 billion gone from the Minister of Health. Did you know it? The Minister of Health's budget is 273 billion for the year. They already stole 14 billion. That's back. You're going to elect them again. What can me and you do, Vanessa, with 10 million rand? Not 10 million, not 100 million, not 1 billion, 10 million rand. If I took 10 million rand, John, today, and I put it into a trust, into a foundation called the Heideveld Foundation, I put 10 million, what can you do? Nee, sien jy, die drome. What will you do? Because you're a community man. What will you do with 10 million? I'll tell you what I can do. I'll rebuild all the houses that is here in this Heideveld kamp. Want dit is nie 'n plakkerskamp nie. Dis 'n konsentrasiekamp hier. Maar met 10 miljoen, man. Today, Vanessa, you and I worked on a project 2 weeks, né? And we got what today for us? We got a generator. We bought a generator today, our group, né? We put the generator in. We have now got light. We have a bit of electricity at your project. Am I right? What was the cost of the generator? I want to show you what we can do. The total cost of the generator, plus the petrol, plus the cabling, was 4,000 rand. That's all. No, a lot of money. Listen to what I'm trying to tell you. 4,000 rand lit up a little place. What will we do with 1 million? So all that Vanessa and myself and her community did, we spent 4,000 Rand today to light up. What if we give you 1 million? What will you do? You will give every small little house there a generator. Ja of nee? Sit jou hand op as dit ja is. Dis ja. Elke huis daar kry 'n generator. Then we're not even at 100,000. We still have 900,000 left in the kitty. What are you going to do with it? Well, we can do a lot. We can feed a family here, times 40, with 100,000 Rand. Maar hierdie land steel 1 triljoen. You are happy? Our foreign debt that we've borrowed from the world is $0.8 trillion. Ons betaal R1 biljoen 'n dag terug net op die interest, my broer. We are never going to pay back the debt. 50 billion gone from PPE. They can't find it. And the president of this country, Suki Cyril, ek noem hom Suki Cyril, want ek soek hom, want ek sien hom nêrens nie, sits at the Zondo Commission and laughs. Laughs. No, I can't remember this, and I think we failed here, and we should be doing this better. You're allowing it? You're allowing it. No one's going to go to jail in the Zondo Commission. No one. They've probably implicated the whole cabinet. Beki Stulki Taufiki Tsele. Beki Tsele. How is he doing as Minister of Police? Doing well? He's arresting people that do kitesurfing. He's arresting people that surf. So I've now said to him, I will sponsor him personally, out of my pocket, a jet ski. So that I kan nyanyat in die see, dan kan hy nog duikers ook toesluit. Ek het al vir hom 3 keer gesê, inshallah. Die mense wat moeilikheid maak, is nie in die see nie, my broer. Hulle sit in Delft. So jy is op die verkeerde plek. Regte rigting, want as dit nou nie 'n plek was van God nie, het ek weer gesê, jy moet, daar's hy, so diep in die see gaan. You're going to allow it. Ons vissermense, jy kry nie jou quota meer nie. So jy forceer nou die mense om te poach en om diefstal te pleeg. Want die regte vir visse word nie hier gegee nie. Daar's mense in Joburg Center, wat fishing rights het. Hierso, my broer. As jy vir 'n galjoen 'n snoek of 'n barber wys, ek gaan die barber seker aanspreek as 'n snoek, sê. Maar hy het fishing quota. Gaan Houtbaai toe. Lambertsbaai gaan vra wie die visquotas. Is dit die Kaapse mense? Nee. So what happened to BEE? No. What happened to BEE? Well, I'll tell you what happened to BEE. Only a few got beat. En die res van ons is nog steeds arm. What happened to the indigenous vote? Because all I see is land being occupied by everybody else, except the true owners of land in this province. Why don't you invade land? Hoekom gesluit hulle nie hokkies op nie? There's a couple of very nice beachfront properties near Makassar. Sorry, you're too late. He's been taken. And it's not been taken by the people that were born here. Are we talking straight tonight, John? I might not ever see you again. I might not be welcome back here again. So I'm going to take my opportunity Straight. Julle bly stil. You're not doing anything. What are you doing? You're not protesting. You're not blocking highways. You're not going crazy on mass standing up to 2 million people. You're sitting back and you're taking it. Can I tell you why? Because you are gentlemen and gentle ladies. Jy sê, my ma het my nie so geleer nie. Your ma is arm dood. That's why your mom died poor. Because we didn't get up and fight. You stopped fighting. You stopped claiming what is yours. And you gave up. Yes, so we're good at meetings, hey. Meetings, vergaderings, notules, minutes, discussions, conferences, cookies, daltjies, samosas, 'n koffietjie en 'n vetkoek en mints, en dan gaan jy huis toe en dan sê jy vir jou man, baie belangrike meeting gehad vanaand oor die reclaiming of Delft. Oh, my broer, inshallah, I'll do you dua. En dan môre neek julle weer aan met nog 'n meeting, nog 'n daltjie, nog 'n samosa, nog 'n vetkoek, nog 'n minutes, chairmans elected, deputy chairmans, secretaries, en jou! En dan stap jy weer huis toe en sê jy, lang meeting gehad oor die community. Ja, en die discussions was vibrant, my broer. En die secretary het geskryf, en die chairman het gespoeg, soos hy gelei het. En dan sê jou vrou, ek is trots op jou, my man. Sy, trots op wat? 'n klomp papier en minutes, en leers tot op in die dak. En dan maandag kom vat hulle jou huis, en dan vra jou vrou vir jou, en nou, waar is jou minutes? Sy, waar jou minutes en jou chairman en jou secretary? We've become a community of meetings. Vanessa, a community of meetings. En sy loop hier rond en sê vir almal, jy kan nie hier pakkie, ek sê chairman, my broer. Chairman van wat? Hier kom hy weer die woord, né? Minder as 0. Maar die spook spat in meetings. Die daltjies word gemaak en die vrou is die vroue pastoor en sy sê, o God help ons in die Here en inshallah, en ons moet dua doen. Maar môre, niks. 0. Moeg man, jou plastiekstoele binne jou, woe! En jy krampe, en jy sê ons op jou hol toe gaan vanaand, of jy op my hol sê, hey, luister, dit werk nie. It's not working. Want ons meet oor 'n meeting, en dan wil jy nog 'n meeting hê, want daai meeting het jy uitgewerk oor daai meeting. You are starting to become government. Mr. Chairman, we must have an inquiry about the inquiry that didn't inquire so that we can inquire why. En elke inquiry, daltjies en samosas. Maar Shanif is moeg om te koop vir julle committee meetings, inshallah. Sy is moeg, man. Sê nie vir jou, hi Josef, wat ek dua vir jou doen, Josef? Vat maar hierdie daltjie saam, né? Nee, sy is moeg, man. Start a soup kitchen, you'll have more performance. Want jy maak samosas net vir die hele Midde-Ooste, en dan na die tyd, dan pak hulle nog in, ook het jy gesien, dankie my broer, shukran, en dan sit jy het maar in die servet, handsak vol, en dan sê jy vir hulle nogal, when's the next meeting? It's not a meeting, it's a feeding scheme. Nee, jy, praat reguit met my, want ek gee ook geld vir daai meetings. Koeke, mins, sop en biryani. Kyk, ek is nou so moeg van meetings met biryani, ek pyl hulle sommer op. Nee man, mens hardlywig van die reis. Maar dis meetings in hierdie community. Kyk, as ons 'n rand kry vir elke meeting, het ons Delft kantoor beklei en Heideveld sommer aan burgemeester aangestel. Want julle meet in julle hel in en as meetings en die dominee gee en hy praat en Sondag spoegies vat en dan Maandag niks, dololo, pilile, niks. En dan hoorie, julle rek vir hom. Wie's daar? Nee, is die DA. En dan het hy nogal die audacity te sê, maar miskien biryani, ek sal vir jou biryani in jou hel. Die wêreld lag vir ons. Aren't you tired of meetings that go on and never end up benefiting us? Aren't you tired of politics? Is ons nie moeg vir politiek nie? Aren't we tired? Inkosa, matlabane nomslanje apa inteni where nomslanje apa you goms. Ons is moeg. Ons is moeg. I'm tired of standing over bodies of young men and girls in Manenberg. Are you not? A gangster is not a bad person. A gangster is someone's son. A gangster is someone's brother. A gangster is someone that took a decision sometimes not because of himself. So when we speak about gangsterism, maybe we should look at why. I'm not talking gangs, I'm dealing with them. But sometimes when I look in a gangster's eyes, I see a person that has no choice. Aren't you tired? Onthou jy die dag toe jy jou melkbottel, onthou jy maar op die stoep, dan sit jy die coupon, dan maak jy die deur toe môreoggend melk, en onthou jy toe begin ons sommer juice op te doen, met die blou coupon en die rooi coupon, dan kry jy sommer melk en orange juice op die stoep, nou maak jy die deur op die stoep weg, sommer alles, jou kelts, sommer jou hond ook, dan vat hulle jou hond, dan doen hulle dogfight Vrydag, met jou poedel. Nee, Jai, hulle vat alles. Daar's nie eers melk, die melk is weg. Die koeie is sommer ook gone, van Lobola. Yo, dominee, ek wil vloek. Nee, baksteen my broer. Nee, it's weg, it's gone. En dan skel jy nog jou neighbor. Laat die vat, jy nie gesien nie. As jy jou nee, my stoep is ook weg. Maar bel die polisie. Maar bel jy die polisie weer wat sê hulle? Wil jy nie vir ADT maar bel nie? ADT. Want as jy polisiestasie toe gaan, dan staan dit op die muur, this premises protected by ADT. The police are protected by ADT. En jy nou maar. Nee, my broer, waar het jy al gehoor van 'n polisie wat deur 'n security maatskappy opgepas word? Can you imagine the call? Can you imagine the call center's call at ADT? ADT, good morning. Yeah, it's SAPS Delft. We've got a break in. And jy nou mal. If it wasn't this bad, it would be a joke. I just drove 6,000 to 8,000 kilometers now. I went to 7 cities. I got in my car and I drove to 7 cities. PE, George, Pretoria, Springs, Germiston, and Bloemfontein. I drove in a car with my guys. I just spent 16 days on the road. Any other political leader that did 19 town hall discussions and 83 meetings with the people of this country, from Cape Town to Pretoria to EP, back? You know of any other leader? No. How do you fix a country if you don't go see the people? Hoe maak jy die land reg as jy nie iemand in sy gesig kyk en sê, my naam is Neil de Beer, ek wil 'n verandering in jou lewe bring nie. Want ons probleme in Heideveld is nie dieselfde probleem in PE nie. En die mense in PE se probleem is nie dieselfde in Umhlanga nie. Ons almal het 'n ander probleem. As jy 'n leier in hierdie land moet wees, ry, kry jou agteruit in 'n kar en gaan sien die mense. Is daar enige iemand anders te Vanessa wat jy weet wat 'n politieke leier is in hierdie land wat 16 dae in 'n kar was oor hierdie land? Enige iemand? So wil jy lei? Ek stap in PE in die armste van armste strate en die mense hou my vas en hulle sê vir my, bring hoop man. Ek stap in Bloemfontein, daai boere is op hulle knieë. Ons boere, ek praat nou van die manne wat kos maak. Ons boere is op hulle knieë. Weet jy wat gaan gebeur as 1/3 van die boere in hierdie land ophou plant? Daar's nie kos nie. So kan ek vir julle 'n vraag vra, meneer. Hoekom moor ons hulle? Weet jy nie iemand hierso? Hoekom vermoor ons plaasboere? Ons vermoor nie plaasboere nie. Ons vermoor kos. Did you get it? You're not murdering a man. You're murdering our food. What will happen if the farmers in this country leave? Zimbabwe. Daar's niks te redde nie. Maar dit is okay. Plaasmoorde en moorde in ons stede en in ons huise is almal dieselfde. Dis moord. It's murder. Is 'n man se lewe in Mitchells Plain minder as 'n persoon op 'n plaas? Nee. Dis moord, dis ek reg? En dis verkeerd. Wat die mense nie weet nie, as jy 'n plaasboer doodmaak, dan maak jy sy besigheid toe, daar's 100 mense nie in die werk nie. Ons moer kos. Wanneer gaan ons dit kry? Kusatu, March. Dit also bands on the hulle beklei vir werk, is ek reg? Do you know where the t-shirts are that Kusatu wears? Do you know where it's made? In China. Wow. So jy march om vir mense werk te gee in Suid-Afrika met 'n China t-shirt. Okay. Nee, ek vra maar net. The Western Cape was one of the biggest textile areas this country had. Yes, hande op. Yes, of praat ek nonsens. Onthou julle daai fabrieke? Onthou julle Mowbray, Epping? Onthou jy Woodstock? Onthou jy in Woodstock winkel na winkel kon jy instap, dan was daar 'n man, onthou met die ketting, met die pottootjie, met die broek, en dan het hy vir jou gesê, salam, en dan sê vir hom, salam, ek soek 'n soet. 2 dae, soet. Wie was daar? Iemand hande op? Anybody put your hand up that used to know a person that made clothing? Anybody? Huh? Taylor. How many young tailors? How many young, independent, great tailors today? You are a dying breed. You are a art dying. I took a suit one day and I showed the tailor, yeah, great gentleman, great Joseph from Mowbray. I gave him the suit, I said I need another suit. He made it in 2 days. I came back, I put the suit on, he didn't have to adjust anything. Hy het my so gemeet. Okay. Is a dying breed. 'n man wat 'n man so kan check en sê 42, 38, 62. Waar is hulle? Hulle is uit besigheid uit. Maar ons dra China shirts. Ons kan nie hierdie fabriek aan die gang kry. We are importing chickens from Brazil. En 'n kwart van die hoenders is water. Hulle spuit hulle in. Onthou jy koop so 'n hoender op Pick n Pay, my broer. As dit jou maar nie oond, as hy so, like soos 'n chicken. Like soos 'n chicken nugget, my broer. Dan neek jy nog jou kinders, want jy dink hulle het gepiek. Nee, hy het gesrink. Dis 'n Brazil hoender. Sy, nou gaan jy terug. Jy gaan mos terug Pick n Pay toe met jou Tupperware. En dan sê jy vir die ou, "Skiet tog kan ek die manager sien, want ek het nou niks nie, my broer." Dan sê die manager vir jou, "Nee, waar kom jy dan? Buy as is." Am I lying? So no one in this country can grow a chicken. Ons kan nie ons eie hoender maak nie. Ons moet hulle invoer, my broer. I think we're living in a sick society. We can steal 1.8 trillion, but we can't feed our people. Vanessa, how many people do you feed every week? 100, 200, 300, 400 mense, 500, 1,000, 2,000, more, 3,000, 5,000. 5,000 people you feed. How much money do you get from our government? You know, I know you do that. You gave me the honor the other day to dish up. I stood there. And I saw kids come with a bowl. And they could actually choose. Remember, we had a veggie soup and we had there was another one. It was a stew. I want to admit something tonight. I'm guilty. Elke keer as ek wil iets opskeut, die lepeltjie gevat.
Yes, we will see. We said that this is your food.
This is my kind of food. Tonight I'm going live to the world. By tomorrow, this video will have 18 to 29 to 48,000 people that are seeing us here tonight. I want to tell the world something. I'm in Heideveld. And in Heideveld, there's more compassion here than in many other places in the world that I have seen. Do this, do this. There's more heart and soul here than what I've seen in many places in my life. Do you know why? You've got a group of women and men that stand every day and make food. And they don't get a rand. Vanessa, what if I give you R1 million? Tomorrow, how many people will you feed for how long? I bet you could feed the same, double it, and still have money for another 2 years. Inshallah. Yes or no? What about 1 trillion? You could feed the Western Cape. You could feed the No. You could feed the Western Cape. You could feed the Northern Cape. You could feed the Eastern Cape. You could feed KwaZulu-Natal. You could actually feed exactly 9 provinces. Because if you can do what you do for 5,000 people with nothing, imagine what you can do with R1 million. Maar hulle steal dit. When is enough? Does it take me and John and Vanessa and everybody else here to get up and say tonight, enough is enough. Genoeg is genoeg. We did this before. We did this with Ellen Busak. We did this in the UDF. You remember? When we started to block roads, when we started to throw stones, when we started to go. Do you not remember Ashley Creel? Do you not remember these people that died? So question, why did we forget people like that? Ashley Creel died till the bitter last. Ons het begin vergeet van hulle, né? They come from us. Question, I don't know, with respect, what would he say today? What would Ashley say today? 27 years later, and our people are in shacks. What do you think would he say? He would say, I died for nothing. You agree with me? If you are, put your hand up. He would have died in vain. What about Kolushi? Solomon Mahlangu? What about the 1976 grouping that fought in Soweto? What about Anton? What about that man, Fransman? What happened? He would have said, I died in vain. So if you are not going to get up in his memory, then don't get up at all. You were in the struggle. You remember apartheid. Some of you are too young. Some of you don't know. You just know of it, but you didn't suffer it. It seems that we've become comfortable. Cape Town is a tale of two cities. Apartheid is alive in the Western Cape. And you can tell me I'm lying. Apartheid is alive. Do you want me to prove it? It seems that in Cape Town, if you can afford it, you're okay. If you cannot, you lost. It's going well in Lindard now. It's going very well in Bishop's Court, Constantia, Durbanville, Water. Is dit mooi daar? Welgemoed, platte kloof. Die huise gaan geil, my broer. So it seems, if you can afford it, you can survive it. What happened in Belhar, Heideveld, Makassar, Mitchell's Plain, Manenberg? What happened? They forgot us. And you know who forgot us? Patricia de Lille forgot us. But she's doing good, eh? It's very good, eh? Huh? It's so good. It reminds me of that advert. It's good, 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 it's good, it's nice. Is lekker, né? Sy, Merc, Mercedes, bodyguards, inshallah. Money. Sy, it's going good. It's going good. Is that the same lady that was in the PAC? The Pan-African Congress, the most left, most radical organization, isn't it? Was anti-patty PAC, nie? Yeah, you got ANC, and then you got the PAC, that's more radical. So how does a member of the PAC end up with the National Party? Say, because the DA is actually the National Party reincarnated. Is that it? And then she joined them, remember? And then she left. Isn't this the same lady that said that the government of the ANC stole money for the weapons scandal? Is that her? And now she's a minister. Same surname. Ja, ek het ook gedink. Dink jy ons is dom? Do you think it's good enough? You are going to vote for her. Nee, julle gaan. Julle gaan. It's time. It's time. So, I didn't come here tonight to get your vote. I know you're very disappointed because you have got so many to choose from. Good, nice, exit, Brexit, Sai. Everybody is now got a party. Dat gaan rough, my broer. I've never seen such a party except on New Year. There's parties oral. Almal stig nou 'n party. As jy wakker word, party. As jy gaan slaap, party. As jy gaan suip, party. As jy kerk toe gaan, party. As jy ontmoet by 'n braai, party. As jy Sabine toe gaan, party. Julle maak parties so smarties en Jannie verjaar ouras. Daar's net parties, my broer. Dat gaan geil. Wat 'n party. Kyk, as jy wakker word, as jy net posters op jou mure sit, is dit parties. Inshallah. Hierdie een is 'n independent, hierdie een is 'n independent, hierdie is 'n jy. Ons is en ons is almal gatvol. Ook 'n party. Daar's 'n party. Die communities is so sif van mense wat elke dag daar aankom met 'n party. Hallo Vanessa, kan ons nou 5 minute kry? Ons is van die Jay party. Dan sê Vanessa, "Ey, inshallah, kom maar in. Wat gaan julle doen?" "Nee, ons gaan okay, shukran. Môre, hallo Vanessa, ons is van die girl party. Dat gaan
Dan kan jy mos jy seker na dit sê wys. Wat kan ek nie een keer week insit?
See, say I would like it. But she's my favorite, I would like it. I wish she just. She's by that age now, she's almost 3 years old then. She's turning 27. Where she go? That's it. No, bro. That's how I'm my daddy now. On my own like this. It's my brother's 2 weeks at home. I get mad messages, bro. Then there's other kinderen that I used to work with at the call center. She messaged me. I help work at the time didn't get it. But I was with my boots, I was not worried. So I like this picture he uploaded now because he was with one of my brothers that I know. So I see my brother tag, I like it. So some of the next day in the morning she messaged me. She said, I say yes. She said yes for the question more. Now she's asking me in and out. Now I feel like, what is this bro chatting? Who is it now chatting? Now I still face her, bro. Other kant, she was our medium om mee nou te speak. Our message her, jy was calling him. So she had the now message her. So I still say, yeah, I send a screenshot and say, yeah, is this calling chatting or is this?
we cannot do this. We must unite. It doesn't matter your political opinion. It doesn't happen, but we need to stand together. My year, John? 2024. 2024. Because then we're talking about national election, for national parliament, for national government, for presidency, and that's when we take them out. Yes or no? Because you can't do it now. Wat gaan jy nou doen? You're going to have a party. You're going to get paid 80,000, what's it these days? 30,000 rand a councillor. You're going to get 30,000, and then what are you going to do? Wait for the next 5 years. Are you going to allow it? So you've got to get serious. So the UIM, United Independent Movement, we are fighting. What are we fighting for? Hoekom beklei ek? Hoekom beklei ek en kan ek vir jou sê wat ons gaan doen? We are going to go into every council in the country and we're going to sit there and we're going to fight them stukkie vir stukkie. When they steal, we'll tell them you stole. We'll bring evidence. Aren't you tired of going to court, sir? Aren't you tired of court? We are more in court than the people at Wimbledon. Ons is die hele tyd op die court. Wat doen jy môre? Nee, ek's in die court. Wat doen jy Vrydag? Ook court. En wat doen jy Maandag? Seker maar jy uitgestel court toe. Julle gaan so baie court toe. Jy's nou 'n professionele tennisspeler. And then every time you go to court, they postpone. Why? Because the people in court need to show that they're busy. So they postpone. So that you can be in court. I think the justice system is clogged. They're just keeping you busy. Vanessa, the game these days is, maak jou lam. Stel uit, stel uit, stel uit. Want een of ander tyd gaan die prokureur moeg raak, een of ander tyd gaan die advocate sak, en een of ander tyd is dit leeg, my bro. En dan sê hulle, nothing. That's the game. You are taking government to court? It's your own money. Elke keer as jy brood koop, betaal jy VAT. Jy vat jouself hof toe. How do you put people out of their homes? With their own money. How do you put people out of their homes in winter? How do you tell people they will now have nothing in winter? And you can look them in the eye. Then, but you're going to vote them back in again. You know why? Because you say, rather the devil you know. Soos jou skoonma. Elke man hierso, as jou vrou nie in hierdie kamer is, dan weet julle presies wat ek sê. As jou vrou hier is, dan sê jy, Julle ken die storie, ne? Liefie, kan my ma bietjie kom kuier? Seker. Seker. Maar wat jy in jou kop sê is, né? Né? Dis hoe dit werk. En dan kom jou ma en dan staan jy nog op by die voordeur. Hallo ma. Sy, wil jy nie praat, ek het van gesê 16 jaar gelede, sy sê maar, dankie ma. Jy waarskynlik werk jy langskofte. Jy sê maar trippel. The government is like our mother-in-laws. Some strike it lucky, some strike it bad. But no matter what you do, you are in bed with that person. My vrou vra vir my, maak hierdie jeans my lyk vet. Moenie dit antwoord nie, boys. Bly doodstil. Sê vir haar glad nie. Sit mooi op jou. Maar wat jy eintlik wou sê is, dis nie die jeans nie, dis die 3 donut wat jy gisterand geëet het. Daai moenie. You are talking to government that way. When the government comes and says, are we doing okay? Die sit nie werk vir jou. Dan sê jy, ja. Dit is. Why don't you ban councillors out of your community? When last did you take 500 people and walk to the councillor? Nee? Stop. Sommer 500. Dan kom jy daar by die huis aan, so kykie. Ons het nie vir jou kom wag om vir ons te stem nie, ons het vir jou kom uitsit. Middag. Nee, vat net 'n bord, dan skryf jy daar, you are fired. Have you fired your councillor lately? You have fired him? Fire him. You know how you fire a councillor? You go to the councillor, you write him a letter, and you say, dear councillor, Heideveld soek jou nie hier nie. Sign it. Sign it. Jy is nie welkom hier nie. And when we see you in the street, when you see you at the door, when we see you in the community, we'll remind you, the people fired you. Fire him. But you don't have the guts. Want weet jy hoekom? Dis wat jy doen. That's even worse. No, that's even worse. Jy het 'n councillor vir Heideveld en hy bly in Kuilsrivier. Sy! Hy bly in Kuilsrivier. So, dan vat ek Neil de Beer, 13 taksies, dan gaan ons Kuilsrivier toe. Dan gaan ons op. You don't have the guts. Want jy doen presies daai, onthou jy daai? Hallo councillor. But you not fired him? You haven't fired her? Want jy laat die party toe om hierdie mens hier in te sit, maar jy het nie die guts om vir hom 'n brief te gee en te sê, "Check." Is dit nou right? Daai woord kan ek gebruik. Maar jy kan nie. It's time that the people fire people. You might be in a party and you might represent us, but I never voted for you. And you are hereby fired because you are absent without leave. AWOL from the community. Or do you want him? Nee, julle wil hom hê. Nee, dan vat ons posters, dan maak ons posters van hom, dan skryf ons daar, not wanted. En dan plak jy dit op elke paal. So as hy nou inkom in jou community daarvan Dingaans Rif, dan sê ek, yes, hier's my foto, not wanted. You have the power. You have the power to rule because you are the people.
Yes.
We don't have to wait for elections. We don't have to wait for the 27th of October. We'll fire you. The power lies with the people because the constitution of this country starts with one dramatic sentence. We, the people. Ons, die mense. What qualifications must you have to be a politician? Do you know what the qualification must be to be a politician? No. No. You don't need a qualification. You don't need a degree. You don't even need a matric. Jy het dit nie nodig hê. So even I can become a politician. What is a politician? You know, today we made politicians bad. Hundreds of years ago, it used to be noble. Dit was 'n eer om 'n politicus te wees. Because you know why? You didn't get paid for it. You served the people from your heart. Now you get paid. The minute that we started to pay politicians is the day we lost the heart. Because now you want to cling on to your salary. Now, can I quickly tell you who here in this hall is a community leader? Sit op jou hand asseblief. Who's a community leader? Vanessa, you're a community leader. Who else? What is a community leader? Who currently works in your community, serving your community? Doesn't matter what you're doing. Now, put up your hand. Put up your hand if you're a community servant. You are? You're a servant. Put up your hand. No, I just want to prove something to you. Can all that serves the community, are you a community leader? Is jy? Werk jy vir jou gemeenskap? Sit jou hand op. So everybody here, you community leaders, am I right? So put up your hand for me quickly. Everybody that is currently serving the community, that currently gets paid, put down your hand. Paid. That gets paid, put down your hand. Those that don't get paid, put up your hand. Don't get paid. Daai wat nie betaal word nie. Daai wat betaal word, sit jou hande af. Sit jou hande neer. Is dit nie snaaks nie? Almal van julle word nie betaal nie. Julle word hoeveel betaal? 0. But look where you are tonight. Ons alweer hier vir 'n meeting, my broer. Toe hulle vir jou sê, jy moet vir hierdie mal blanke boer wat 'n terroris was vir die swart ouens, julle moet vir hom kom luister, toe sê hulle, nog 'n meeting. Dink jy daar's daltjies? Dink jy daar's iets? Niks? Niks? En weet jy wat? Maar, hulle het gesê, dis alright. Hierdie is 'n cheap round. Dis 'n cheap round, my broer. Can I tell you something? It takes a big person to love someone. It takes love, not money. You cannot buy love. The day that you want to buy love is the day that love is over. Liefde met 'n rand is nie liefde nie. Do you think I get paid to stand here, sir? No. Do you think I'm going to earn any money from speaking here tonight? No. Do you think I miss my family tonight? Yes, I do. But here we are in Heideveld tonight. Why did we come? I'll tell you why, Vanessa, I came back. I came back because of you. I came back because of you. I met you. I saw you. I decided to love you. Can I tell you what happened to me and you? Onthou jy die dag, onthou ek was nie in hierdie gebou nie. Onthou jy, toe kon ek vloek. Ek vloek nie so bad nie. Ek gebruik maar net 'n paar woorde. Ek los die vloek vir ander mense. Maar as ek kwaad raak en naraak, my broer, as ons hier in die middel van die Zayas, ek gryp jou en ek ruk jou. I'm upset. My people are dying. You want me to be nice? Go get a pastor. I'm not nice. I leave the praying for the pastor. Want op my t-shirt staan daar, ons bid vir jou in die oggend, ons voer jou in die middag, en dan neek ons jou in die aand. CRU, dis my manne in uniform. Ons gaan vir jou bid en dua in die oggend, ons gaan vir jou sop gee in die middag, en vanaand neek ons vir jou, as jy stout is. Dis mos die regte ding om te doen. Is ek reg? Crime in this country is out of hand, corruption is taken over, and the money is not getting where it should be. And we need a little bit of religion back in our life. We removed God out of our school. We removed God out of our parliament. We removed God out of our community. We forgot Christ. So you want to know what does the UIM stand for? Anti-crime, anti-corruption, right distribution of capital, and in Christ, 4 C's. Want sonder God en sonder Allah, we are lost. There's no light left. So maybe we need God back in our lives. If you're a Muslim, you do not pray to Muhammad. You pray to Allah. When you're a Christian, you don't pray for Jesus. You pray for God. A Muslim cannot be lost. You have the Holy Quran. A Christian cannot be lost. You have the Bible. A Jew cannot be lost because you have the Torah. And a South African cannot be lost because you have the Constitution. What's your excuse? Go remind your counselor the oath that he is taken to protect, defend, and always uphold the Constitution of this Republic. And part of that is humanity. Maybe I should print the Constitution and give it to you that you can go hand deliver it to your counselor and tell him you can't be lost. And because you've broken this thing by letting us walk a kilometer for water, feed our own people, and not give us electricity, you are fired. We are asking for a mass firing of councillors. And then you appoint your own councillor. And then when that councillor comes, then you say to him, "Wat maak jy? He's ons councillor." Nee, maar hy sê, he's ons councillor. We are going to take wards now. Shafiq, how many wards? 38 wards. We are taking it. The UIM has decided not to take council. Ons soek nie council nie. Ons wil hierdie gemors hê. Ons wil 'n nuwe begin hê. So if you think that we are going to go in and want to take over council, ons sê vir almal ons gaan Mansbury toe. Ons is op pad George toe. Laat hulle hier fight en beklei Vanessa. Laat hulle mekaar uitrek. DA en Good and EFF en the ANC. Ons staan op die kant en ons neek vir hulle. Ons is 'n man en 'n vrou met 'n plan. So we are only going for 31 wards. Nothing else. Why? Ek gaan nie vir die wêreld sê nie. So all we want is the wards where we can show the country we can make a difference. Because what difference do you want me to go make in Lindadna? What difference do you want me to go do in Bishop's Court? Can I show you what the UIM and Neil de Beer can make a difference in Heideveld? Can I show you? Ask me quickly, Vanessa, ek en jy ken mekaar lankie. Have I broken any promise to you? Since the minute I met you, have I delivered? I will keep on delivering. Because the only thing I've got is my word. Why do you promise and not deliver? Why would I promise you something and not deliver? It's a lie. Don't you think it's time that we get people that deliver? The only reason you will back me is because I've got nothing to gain from it. If I wanted to be a politician, I would have been one 16 years ago in the ANC. I'm not a politician. This country has forced me to stop my life and become one. Do I look happy to you? No, I'm not. This is what this country has done to me. You have taken my life twice. This is now the second time this country is going to take my life. First 8 years in the ANC to fight for freedom, and now another 8 years to bring this country back. Are you prepared the same? Are you prepared, if necessary, to stand up and fight for your country? Are you ready? Because that is where we are. If you don't get up now, there will be nothing left. There will be no roads, there will be no Eskom, there will be no work, there will be no food, there will be no infrastructure, there will be no money. In 3 years from today, the last roads will die. The last electricity will go. Eskom said last night, they can't give you power over winter. Jy gaan het vat. Jy gaan jou heater en jou vuurtjie gaan jy weer aansit en jy gaan shut up en jy gaan niks sê nie. You are going to go back and do this. Is julle nie moeg nie, man? Ek is moeg. And the people that pay the price is you. Is die mense wat vanaand in daai hokkies moet bly. En hy het nie eens 'n lig nie. Maar kom ek sê vir jou, you took me into a lady's house there. Let me tell you, that house in there is cleaner than mine. And she's got nothing. When will we give dignity back? They're going to change the constitution now. They're going to change it. Land without compensation. What does that mean? There's enough land. The land that Heideveld people, the poor people are staying on, why don't you just give them houses? There. How come a lady waits 29 years on a list for a house and a guy that waited 2 years gets a house? And you know he's not even from here. Nee, praat gou met my, want ek wil klaarmaak, ek wil die waarheid hê. Why do certain people go on lists and they stay on that list for 10 years, 15, 20, and they've never got a house? But another guy that's 28 years old gets a house. How? How do you get a house and then you don't even stay in it? You rent it out. Lieg ek nou? Ons laat ons ou mense, ons pensionarisse, doodgaan, sonder dat daai persoon ooit die vryheid van huis kry. Why did they die? Ashley Crew. Anton Fransman. Did you die so that our people can just be in the list? Is that why? Is that why? It's time. In conclusion, you cannot sit back anymore. Die tyd van meetings is verby. Die tyd van minutes is verby. Die tyd van leers is verby. We've got to take the city back. We the people. I'm asking it to start, John, here. Heideveld, You must lead. You must lead by example. Heideveld must talk to Manenberg. Manenberg must speak to Mitchell's Plain, to Makassar, to Bontejevel. You must start the fire here because you have leaders here that are willing to lead and fight. Are you? Are you? Or what will you tell your children? Daar's van julle hier wat sit met jou kinders. Wat sê jy vir hulle? You are talking freedom and you can't afford bread. How many in this hall tonight have a permanent daily job? How many of you? Please put up your hand. How many of you have a job today? How many of you don't have a job that pays you every single month? Put up your hand. How many of you don't factually know where your bread will come tomorrow? How many? Three-quarters of this hall. That's where we are. Ons weet nie waar ons brood kom nie. Mense, ek is jy. Ek het net besluit om op te staan. I just decided to fight again. I am not your leader. I'm not a leader. I care. Ek gee om. Like you, and all of you. I have a conscience. Hoe slaap hulle in die aand, Vanessa? Hoe slaap die councillors? Hoe slaap Dan Plato? Hoe slaap Ellen Windy vanaand? Kan ek vir jou sê hoe slaap hy? Lekker. Electric blanket. Kos op sy tafel. You allow it? Yes, you do. If I may ask you one thing tonight, I can never repay you for your time tonight. I asked you to come, you came. You have given me all your time, 2 hours. What have I said tonight that you don't know? Alles wat ek vir julle vanaand gesê het, julle weet dit. Daar's niks nuut nie. Ek sit dit maar net in 'n ander prentjie vir julle. You know it. Maar jy weet dit. Ek het net alles vir jou op 'n plantjie gesit. 27 October, we vote. Do you know what's good about 27 October? It's my birthday. We have the election for municipalities on my birthday. Ek wil net vir Cyril sê, shukran. That's the greatest gift you could give me. On my birthday, we're going to vote you out. Freedom is only given when you have the right of life, the right to earn a living, and that you can walk at 10 in the morning or 10 at night free in your community, and you can put bread on your table. That's free. We thought freedom is the right to vote. We thought so. So they gave us freedom. They didn't give us economic freedom. Have you tried to eat a ballot paper? Can you take your ballot paper to Checkers and say a brood? What does freedom of voting help when the people you vote for take away your freedom? Am I sad that I had to leave the ANC? My home? Yes. It's not Nelson Mandela's ANC anymore. And if it's not his, I'm not there. Is nie meer Ahmed Kathrada se huis. It's not our home. Did you see what we did to Ellen Busak? Did you see what we did to him? We destroyed him. Onthou jy daai ou Ellen wat agter op 'n bakkie gestaan het? Onthou jy daai speeches wat hy gemaak het? Ellen today has no future. They took his life away. I took him for lunch about a year ago. Ellen is now not a young man anymore. Man, sy oë is hy nog Ellen Boesak. Sy oë. South Africa, rise. There are people here that fight and that won't stop. None of you get paid. So you're not doing it for money. You're doing it because you care. If a neighbor could help another neighbor, this country won't need help. May God bless you. May the mercy of Allah be over you. May His hand of willingness of protection come over those tonight that have nothing. We won't stop. We'll scream, Aluta, continua, now in our own hearts. If you want to come with me, if you want to come with us, this small entity that's burning hot now, not just another party, then we need to stand together. Yeah? When you are in, it's probably the 4th of July. So I want to thank you for tonight. I'd like to do something now that I normally do, if you will allow me, for the next 5 or 10 minutes. I'd like questions from you. I don't want you to be nice. Ask me anything you want. I've decided, no matter what, the truth will set you free. So ask me anything you want and I will answer. If we can take 5 or 6 or 8 questions, Vanessa, Chairman, if that's okay. Anything you want.
I was getting now so emotional. We came down from a CAN meeting, and CAN, we are about 14, 15 kitchens from Heideveld. My request there today was for help for my kitchen. Because today, 420 people I served, 3 o'clock I started.
Okay. Eric.
There's 2.5 tons. We don't know what I heard. Tomorrow we are getting cabbage. My commitment now to you is that through Vanessa and the centers of soup kitchens, every week I will support you through winter, the whole winter. I will support you. This is for you. Ma, no child can go hungry here. You must never feel that way again in your life today, where you say to a person, ons het nie meer nie. Ek het kinders. I don't want you to be heartsore anymore. While I'm around, I will look after you. This is from us. This is not for any reason. We need to get through winter. We'll get through winter together. So I'm here. As long as you want me, I'm here. And you don't have to give me one dolce, one samosa. I'm here. Anything else? Anybody? Questions on election? Question on who we are? Enigiets wat julle wil weet. Reguit.
Yes, so, Mr. De Beer, we have, in politics, this is what's happening, and I've been following you since Vanessa has been mentioning you. I've been following your whole journey on Facebook. Every event that you had, I get notification. This is what's happening, and I listen to you speaking. We have been disappointed in our area.
Sure.
People has been coming in, and people has been saying this, people has been saying this. We put them in power, and they turn on us. What prevents you from turning on us? You know,
I think what prevents me from going the same route
there we go.
is that we have decided that politicians are out and we the people are in. You as the community know who your people are that represent you. You've got a ward councillor that's not even from the ward. So you've got to decide. You know who's the person in Heideveld that represents you. What politicians do, they appoint people that politically they favor, not the community. When last did you have a community person from the community in council? Vanessa, when last? Van hier af. John, when last? That's the difference with the UIM. The United Independent Movement is united, but we give you independence of your own choice of candidate, Shafiq. That's what we do. Now, if you can't identify the person in your community that you trust, that won't turn on you, then we have a problem in politics. So the guarantee of the UIM is we don't go and do political favor. We find the community leader. But find that leader that you know will not turn on you. So there's no guarantee if you, the community, don't guarantee that person. So to stop us from failing, we will choose the ward candidate from you. Then you can keep that candidate accountable. How do you keep that candidate accountable today when that candidate is on the list of a political party, but you can't fire him? His community. All I'm doing, I am making sure we have enough funding, we have enough support, we have enough backing so that you can actually run your own ward. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time for the community, about the community, to the community, from the community? Do you like it? Dis ek hoop ek onthou nou al daai goed. Because that sounds cool. But it is the truth. So John, that's it. We will choose ward councillors from here that you know, van Kunstbeen af. Do you know what's a good councillor? Is a councillor that's been doing council work, but's not been a councillor and been doing it free. How about that? Don't you think so? So pay or no pay, that person doesn't care. He loves, she loves the community. Look for that person, want jy gaan gou sien hoe verander daai mens. Is dit nie? So today you've got people here that don't get paid, but they're here. That's the answer. Get people from here. We as a party will only govern those that govern themselves. And that's the difference. So we would like to ask in these wards that we are going for the communities to give us a person. Because I'll tell you what, the DA is going to give you a person. The EFF is going to give you a person, and the ANC is going to put a person here. How about we counter them with our own person from here? Because if Vanessa or John or Gerard or Stefan stands, won't you stand behind that person? Then we don't need a lot of this, because we have a lot of this. I asked Vanessa, will you stand with me? She said no. Ek gaan jou eers uitsend. I went, okay. I liked it. Because it means you're not for sale. Nee, is reguit. You're not for sale. I like it. Dis hoekom ek sê, sy het my goed op my, jy weet die ander woorde gebruik nie, gegee. I like it, Vanessa. And when we won a fight up in Joburg, I called Vanessa. I said, Vanessa, we won a fight. And she laughed. I said, that's Vanessa. I respect her, John. I respect you, every one of you. I hope that answers the question. From the community, about the community, within the community, for the community. Vanessa? Yeah.
I actually have a few questions and then the main question. So actually I want to make a few statements and then my question. So a lot of things that you said, okay, all the things you said, yes, we all know that. The sad part is the part of the meeting is actually sad. We laughed, but that is so sick. Because we have been in meetings for the last year about how to fire this councillor. I'm speaking for myself tonight. I think I've learned a lot. Being a community leader for almost 30 years, I got a wake-up call tonight once again. So it will be so disappointing, even if we don't go with you, when you leave and still be the same like yesterday. Because I got a wake-up call because why? Maybe there was this one meeting short where we all needed to wake up in order to partner as to the way forward. Because we have all the tools, we have come so far, with all the things that you said. In actual fact, the disappointing part is I don't know even how to put it. We are busy with all the things that you are saying. But we're so busy, but we're busy doing nothing. And I think that is why the council is thinking that he got away. Or that is why the senior officials is thinking we are bluffing. So we are busy with a plan of action. However, you said we lied. So unfortunately, we cannot expose our plan because we would not want the enemy to know when we're coming into the camp. But we have our plans. Also, I want to ask a few things. Government hasn't taken note of us. I said to the commissioner this morning that the so-called colored people are saying that government has forgotten them. We as Heideveld feel that we never existed. And we are blaming no one besides ourselves because we allowed it. So we have been abused we have been abused for so long. But for the last 10 years, it worsened. It got worse in our community. When, specifically me that was born in Heideveld, I can just walk, even on our sports field, and then identify how backwards we went in this community. Because never in my life, and I don't know, I'm speaking for myself, and John, you as a sports person can maybe emphasize on this. Our sports complex has never ever been in that state.
Sure.
So something is not legal here. Never ever did we wake up
with so much people coming into our community, taking all the work, leaving with the money, and our people are dying of poverty. I was sitting here now and thinking about one thing. And I'm going to make that video clip. I would want someone to make a video clip of me where I walk out of the camp, which people call it the squatter camp, but it is home to many, and go fetch water for over a kilometers away of the camp. So I would want people to feel the pain and to see and to explain to me what is going to happen. Ons noem dit mos, hy sewe dae, dat het aan een val. Where you can't go out by your door the way the water is laying outside. So I think what the people on the camp must do is, hulle moet sommer maar die vuil water daar buite sit, because they won't make it to buy that water, to go fetch that water. So when you have to see the picture of small kids physically slipping a 25-liter heavy can of water to that informal settlement, someone needs to explain to me what is going to happen in the heart of winter.
When they do that.
When all of us is in our homes, comfort, opening a hot shower, and people has to walk a kilometer to go fetch water. When it's load shedding, it's almost like you die because you couldn't check on yourself because take it. If you don't have gas, then it's a whole argument because the food is not done. So that people doesn't care anymore about load shedding because they have a permanent load shedding. Because government just feels it's a decision that they won't give that people any services. And I cannot understand why we are still allowing this councillor to get away with murder, because that is what he's doing to his own people.
He's murdering their soul.
And in the same community, on that informal settlement, while he is denying a person of over 70 years old water and the normal basic human services, he has put his son of just over 20 years in a downstairs house. The city of Cape Town is the owner, and the Lord knows who is the tenant there, and enjoying all that, but he's denying that to the old people. I cannot understand why the seniors in Heideveld is still even saying, is even looking at that guy normal, because this cannot be normal. So we are buying, like I'm saying, we have a plan. Government must know that, and they must believe that, and the Heideveld community must know this. Who's with us must be with us, who's not with us is going to lose out. But we are going to make sure that we build houses for our people.
Yes.
Yes, we have a few shortcomings. And we are not going to steal, and we are not going to ask. We are just going to do what we had to do long time ago. So we have a plan of action. There's a few things that we need. And you said you're not the politician because you said you have the love for the people. So I'm going to ask you, should we put our plan of action in place? We want to build houses for our people. We have a local business sector. Who is that? That is our local guys that has helped themselves to become local business people, where they can say that unless I say in Baini, something good can come from Heideveld because I've got my own business. However, their businesses is dying because they cannot access any work because the council doesn't allow it, because why? There is no place or time or anything to educate them, if that is the shortcoming, in terms of most of them knows they are all fully compliant, but they cannot access work because why? The councillor just feels that the tenders must go out and it must go to anyone besides his own people in Heideveld. And they, as the business sector, is denied public participation with any development. We have a full backyard dwellers organization, Heideveld Informal Backyard Dwellers Association, with an NPO. Heideveld is one of the only communities that never had a PHP, where houses was built for the people, by the people. The place that the people on the informal settlement is living on now is partly service. It has just been disconnected. The city found it good few years back to have people living there when it suits them. So you take someone out of their house to give their house a makeover because the flat belongs to the city of Cape Town. You leave them there, you give them a comfortable life, love water, alles, and then you move them back. But now when people, that's what nothing is living there, voel jy nie jy gaan nie lig en nie weg te connectie. Want dit soet nou nie vir jou nie. We are at court paying loads of money to lawyers and advocates because you will understand what a high court advocate costs.
Thousands.
Exactly. So we have been exhausted since 2018 because our councillor was the main one that pushed this agenda for this thing to go in such a manner. He has never set foot. The councillor was also lived in Heideveld for all his life. Hy kon saam met ons uit die flat sy. He has never ever set his foot by a second on that informal settlement and it's going in for 4 years. Can government or his seniors not see that something is not lekker here in Heideveld? We had spoken to them, we took them on walkabouts, we spoke to all levels of government and absolutely nothing. Van iemand is mal, but nothing is happening. So now, since 2018, we've been in court because government just feel it is okay to say, hulle wil 'n sportsveld vir die skool daar hou because the field that we are occupying has been a dumping site for 20 years. However, now that we have occupied it, because we saw there was potential for people to stay there instead of living on the pavements, they feel there's a big complex that is called Heideveld Sports Complex, exactly back to back with the school. That half of that sports complex hasn't been used for the last 10 years. If you open that one gate, the staircase of the school walks within that soccer field. Can we honestly justify and say that is an excuse to evict the people?
No.
Because that is the only fight in court. And in the meantime, the poor people still have to give their last money so that we can have a high court lawyer and an advocate. That is for housing. Our sports complex, we have a full sports council. So to give you guys news, we have helped ourselves. Maybe we have some shortcomings, but whatever you said, we started to implement, and they better pull up their boots and their socks and hulle moet hardloop. Because ons het miskien 'n bietjie te lank gepad, but we are coming. If anyone thought that we died because we quiet, no. We are just busy putting on our gear and we are coming. So whatever you said, we are busy, it's in the pipeline. So the sports complex, we hosted an AGM in this specific space where all the organizations and all the stakeholders was invited because we are denied public participation. One of the biggest things that the councillors commit themselves to and swear under oath is that they will have at least 4 to 5 meetings per year. For the 10 years we had not one specific community meeting. And the speaker is still asking for evidence. So the sports complex is, we have a sports council, it was legit selected, elected by an AGM. There was full public participation. The sports council is being denied to occupy the sports field So ons sal laities het vandag 4 keer gebeklein in die community. En mekaar gejam en kans en messe. Because van die ouderdom nou van 8 jaar oud af, moet ons ook kinders gangsters word. Because the sports council cannot occupy the sports complex to put daily things in place to keep that laities busy. We had a building that went up. I'm going to conclude now because I want to give some others a chance. We had a development that came up in 2018. We said again, no public participation. The councillor doesn't consult with us. The councillor never speaks to us. We cannot find the guy. The speaker wants evidence. Whether we show it to them, whether we tell it to them, he wants evidence. We will give him evidence in the upcoming month. We don't want to say what our plan is. They still want evidence, even though we gave them orders. In 2018, there was a development. There was an old building, it was our old MOU building. It was standing there for over 20 years, vacant, vandalized. The NGOs, we as NPOs and NGOs, we went and we said, give this place to us. Heideveld is the only community in the poor communities that doesn't have a box, like Menenberg and Overpop, Pontiac. We don't have a people center and we don't have a multi-purpose center. And this is no joke. You go into Mitchell's and you find that. You go into an Overpop, people don't believe when we say Heideveld is unique in terms of being abused. We know that Menenberg also have challenges, Pontiac and Overpop. But when they must look down in Heideveld and see what is actually happening. So we have nothing like that. Then we were asking for that building and we said, give us this building and give all the organizations that is fully compliant some space. So on a Monday morning, if I decide, yeah, my symbol in here, and I go to that building, then they can say door, that yellow door. My kind wil nie skool gaan nie. Go to gaan hy PSD toe. Wat maak dit my ma se deel dat my dag is gekom met 'n hulle help nie whatever go to that door. So that we have some kind of system in here where our people feel there is some kind of hope. No, they denied us that. So then, after denying us that,
Dis my ouma.
ek wil nou maar sê dit is my
Sy's 'n
ma
bietjie
wat sê,
altyd van hulle kom.
sê vir wat julle doen. So then, they denied us that. Then after that, denying us that, we found out that we saw there's a builder coming. And then we went and we stopped that builder. So I also want to tell you that the city knows exactly what we're capable of. Because ons laat niks van by ons gaan nie. We may be a bit too slack. So then we stopped that builder and we said, you're not going in here if we don't know what's happening here and our people doesn't get opportunity. We lost and we win somehow because maybe 2 of our companies got in there, 2 van ons local businesses het daar ingekom. Ons was nog altyd geclose. When we got to the plans, now it is by law that a councillor cannot be personally involved in no development. The councillor's function is to oversee.
Sure.
Because they are undermining what we know and how educated we are van ons, was ons nou heeltyd onnooselig gewees according to them. Then we found that the councillor has seen in that development, signed it off. We don't know who supported it, but it wasn't done by the public participation. And they are going to develop an ECD building. In the meantime, we had 18 existing ECDs. We had 22 that time. With the COVID and whatever, we now have 18 existing ECDs. We didn't need, Heideveld didn't need another ECD building to be developed. Heideveld needed, this ECDs needed some support, financial support. They could have taken that budget and established that people more. They built the first plans of the first building that was going to go up. There was an office that was going to be built for the councillor within that building. So then we fought them and we slept nights outside and we said, no, this is not happening. And eventually they gave us public participation and then the whole thing was changed. So then we got the portion of that is a multi-purpose. That building is not hand over here. portion is a youth desk, and then this the ECD side. So that building, they cannot hand it over because we are not allowing anyone to go in that building. In conclusion, I want to say this. We just, but our budgets, there's no consultation, no public participation. We don't have a say. We can, if you call sub-council 11, as a dwyer lane, wherever you go, it's just the speaker is asking for evidence when the community is in a worst state. Now, to my knowledge, the speaker's job is to come and investigate if there is accusations. So if you sit in your office, how are you going to get the evidence? Because you must come to Heideveld so that we can show you the state of our community. They want to put surveillances up here for don't know hoeveel honderd. Here in our community, most of our accidents and lives has been taken on this four-way. As we go over, this is Captain side of Heideveld and that side is the station. But we one community. So most of our people lose their lives on that four-way because you get the most accidents there. Honestly now, wie wil hulle dophou hier op die hoek by Celtics as jy inkom? Because you have Welcome Estate that side, you have Vanwood Estate, and then you have Heideveld side moving in. Ek kan nie onthou van kinds af, wanneer daar 'n accident wanneer daar op die four-way gewees het nie. Ek kan nie onthou wanneer het hulle iemand se bag of iets afgevat op die four-way nie. What I can say is, comedy is a target. This is the big challenge for us. Also, Kate, what was now and said, by the way, this is the pastor of the church, Pastor Bernard. So, this church.
I realize.
Yes. This church is being sabotaged by on a daily basis. Pastor has just been in so much, we felt his pain because he was calling us and saying, who know and say, yeah, because his answer was gesteel, basically, educated. And you are honestly saying that we must let go and allow that. We are also busy speaking. Yes, we enjoy the support of the masses. We can say this live. This is no lie, this is no joke. Because all the stakeholders is in one basket here. Whoever is not with us, you are obviously a little minimum, but we enjoy the support of the masses. So my question is, in saying all these things is, we are going to take action. No one knows what our plans is. Obviously, with our actions that we are going to take, we need some assistance. So we need, I cannot say it, so I'm going to put it in another way. We will need some finance assistance to do certain things. And we are not saying physically money, but certain things. Then we will need legal assistance because we need to cover ourselves. Because it's something that must go by your work, so there's a few things that we need assistance with. At this point, we as community leaders, to have my feeding scheme, to emphasize on the can. We have a Heideveld can. So Mothers for Justice is a fully compliant feeding scheme, but the councillor found it good in his heart to say to the city, then he will leave us take that little soup and he will give it to an organization in Silvertown. My organization also speaks for gender-based violence, but since the COVID, feeding has become more popular because due to awesome standard. So there is my organization is one of the biggest and active organizations feeding 7 days a week. However, the Ahmed sitting there is the chairperson of CAN. So we decided we are not going to work in isolation, we are going to work together. So we are 15 to 16 feeding schemes together that falls under CAN, even though me as M4J. So most of the feeding schemes has been dependent on themselves and whatever comes to M4J. So Neil walks into Mothers for Justice and then again giving us that vegetables we now need to share it amongst the 16. But in the meantime, there was a COVID budget for Heideveld. In the meantime, we see all the other communities getting assistance. We are tired. Yes, we have our plan. Yeah, ons gaan iets doen. We are also tired of politicians. Ons kan aan die politieke parties gejoin nou. Ons moet nog seker net die back oor die. Maar ons het daar allemaal gejoin. Because we feel, kijk, as jy kom en jy sê jy kan vir ons ja, then we can go because we need houses for our people. We need some kind of assistance. But we are also tired. We are by a point where we say we have posts. Politicians and politics. We are consulting with a lot of political parties to say to them one thing. Hier sê niemand meer. No? Hier choose ons eie mense. Jy kan maar jou kakket hier en jou candidate die het gaan nie weet. Die council moet vir hom klaarmaak en hy moet het glo. Hy sal nooit weer 'n councillor wees hier in Heideveld because we won't allow it. They can be voting, he can be on. Whoever wants to vote for him, he will not be able to do anything because we will not allow. Because we have been the councillor now for the last 10 years here in Heideveld. So, what I'm asking is, we want to achieve many things, but we have a plan of action that we need to action like as in yesterday. Because we know that they are taking our tax money to take us to court, to high court, because a few years back when I fought for our local labor to work, I did a normal, innocent media statement saying this was verkeerd. Hoe kan ek julle ander mense die huise van Eto se beland ek op high court? And our councillor is constantly the one that is calling the police on us, law enforcement, and taking us to court. And that's the key of Cape Town. Kan jy vir ons 'n sports bou nie? Of hulle kan nie ons 'n businessmense of 'n workshops doen nie? Of ons 'n sokkerveld gaan maak het, hy op pay for his fees, for lawyers fees en almal dan. So we are in dire need of assistance. Ons het alles. But the one thing we don't have finance assistance in order to action what we want to say for our voices to be heard. Well, is there, without any expectation, some kind of assistance for us so that government can hear us in a dignified manner? You obviously can put the dots, connect the dots because we're live and I don't want to unveil our plan.
And I'm an old spy.
Yeah.
Don't forget it.
Yeah.
Ek is 'n goeie spy. I was a good one for the country. I don't know if you know, Vanessa, water. Hy soek net 'n klein gap. Dan kom hy in. Dan maak hy so. Jy kan nie water stop nie. Sorry, ek weet nie of die ouens wat bou hier is nie. Is daar enige bouers hierso? Kan jy water stop? Jy kan hom hou, maar jy kan hom nie stop nie. Wat as daar so 'n gap is in 'n muur? Wat doen water? Hy kom deur en dan wat doen hy? Hy eet. The UIM is looking for a gap to push its water in and lie and expand. I have been Delft, Mitchells Plain, Makassar, Strand, the places I told you we are going in, Vanessa. Klein gappies van water. 8 homes burned down in Strand. Totally. I rebuilt it. I rebuilt the 8 homes in 3 days. I put back 8 families in 3 days. I bought the stuff. There was a group of 12 Rastafarian men that stayed next door and they rebuilt the houses for me. Better than any other building company in the world. Rastas, my bro. Net so. I took money, I built the stock, they built the houses. I then re-equipped it and I fed them for 6 weeks. I'm still feeding that group of 8. They have allowed no councillor back in there. Want hulle het gestaan buite en hulle het gereën en niemand het hulle gehelp nie. I went and fixed it. Why Heideveld? Why am I here? I'll tell you why I'm here. Why am I not tonight somewhere else? I'm here because I see a fighting spirit and unity here. You are a difficult group to crack, and that makes you the right group to work with. I know exactly what you are thinking. I know exactly what you need to do what you need to do. So here's the answer. Yes, I'm with you. I am with you. They say, as a good businessman, you know, I do business in the world. They say a good businessman knows it's been a good day when your no has been more than your yes. You see, we cannot say no. Because if you're a politician, a pleaser, or a bull, you know the other thing, ne? Pastor. If you're a bull, then you will not say no. You'll say yes, and then you'll walk away, and then you'll feel, but I'm not going to do it. I say 42 times a day no, because I have only one thing, and that's my name. As jy my naam vat, is ek verby. I am saying to you, when I met you, I made a speech that day. Do you remember? Ek was nogal moedig, pastor. Ek het laat waai. Do you know how many people, Vanessa, saw that video that I made? Do you know how many people saw it in the world in 5 days? Do you know how many? 567,000 saw it. Likes in my days on my Facebook is the most likes ever. I have 168,000 views just on one video. It's the Heideveld video. They're calling it Neil se gatvol video. It was shared by more than 336,000 people 3 times. So Heideveld, through Neil de Beer and the UIM, became famous, and it made me famous. Because that day, I didn't come there to do anything except one thing. Come and see what they're doing to you, and speaking. So that day I made a promise. I told you 2 things. Without me even knowing you, I said, we need to drop food and we need to get you power so that you can work. I've done both. So it's easy. Yes. I'm with you all the way. Hoe eet jy 'n olifant? Vanessa? Stukkie vir stukkie. So ek weet wat ons probeer doen as 'n olifant. Maar ons kan hierdie ding bietjie vir bietjie eet. Maar hierdie mense moet een ding weet. The councillor, the political parties, the party is over. I'm not a party actually. I'm one of you. But I'm on a mission now. Want ek het genoeg mense sien huil. Ek het nou genoeg mense gedruk in die land. Met my eie arms om te weet, hulle het my nodig. Hulle het jou nodig. Hulle het ons nodig. So al wat ek vir jou vra is, my antwoord aan jou, ja, nou vra ek jou 'n antwoord. Kan ek en jy nie net die 4 hier begin nie? Kan ons nie hier steek brand nie, en ek bedoel nie van tyres nie. Ek bedoel van siel. If there was one place we should start a branch, a takkie, it should be Heideveld. Because Heideveld deserves it. It's the most abused. So let's fix it. But let's make an agreement in public. I've done it before with you. Let's sit, let's plan, let's execute. Like a good plan. And let's change. But jy het my, jy weet dit al klaar. Jy sê dit net nie so vinnig nie. Maar jy het my, hoor.
Just quickly, because I think time is not on our side. You've preached the gospel tonight. I think we heard that over and over. Now, enough is enough as a slogan that I think the world outside is capturing because of the tolerance level. And our tolerance level in Heideveld, if I should put it on a scale, it's 8 out of 10. One good day in Heideveld it's again a life.
Mm.
It's again people going to sleep without food.
Mm.
The situation in Heideveld, we are in dire straits. We are in dire need. The old age home is closed. Things is happening in Heideveld at a fast rate. And tonight again, we're gonna go to bed, sleep peacefully, and this doesn't bother us at all. Now, I've asked and I've made the suggestion several times, and I'm gonna say it to their faces because I'm not a coward. If we are not gonna action this tomorrow, this news that we've heard, another day too late. It's another day that the councillor got away with doing things that he's got away with all the years. It's another day too late. You said give him notice. He's supposed to have been fired a long time already. And I'm gonna do. I'm not afraid to go, and I'm not apologetic to what I'm saying here. I'm not gonna apologize because we've been doing the right thing all the time. And we are simply, when we do the right thing, we need to apologize for what we've done and say, sorry, we won't do it again, and we turn our backs and we fail our people. We fail our people. Not tonight, God forbid, we go out here and we call for another meeting. And we come to discuss and to plan again. We cannot do that. I plead with tears in my eyes tonight. We cannot do that. We're failing our people. We're seriously failing our people. This is long time overdue.
Mm.
You see people standing in a line for 350. You see people begging and they've got to pay a money lender. The money doesn't go into their homes. It goes to a money lender that taxes them and keeps their card. And the church says it's okay. We say it's okay. We say it's okay with all of these things. So for me, enough is not enough. We're over the brim already. We're boiling. My question to you, and this is without pretense, I think we need to face it head on. If you say you're going to make a change, is that your heart and your soul, you prepare to say on video, my passion was for the people, that's why I came out of politics. Not to please the people, but to give them a chance in life.
I was on my way out, Pastor. I'm a very wealthy man. I was leaving the country. I was shutting down. 5 November last year, I was leaving. My head office of my group is in Barcelona, Spain. I'm 6 months there, 6 months here. I packed up. I've worked 22 years of my life, 18 hours a day. I've built up 9 companies in the world. I'm here. I don't want to necessarily be here because I'm seeing my country burn. I wanted to leave and watch you burn on CNN and tell my son his dad fought one day for that country and now I gave up. I lost a lot of friends. I was sentenced to death. I fear nothing because once I gave my life for the people, And here I'm back again. Enough is not enough when it is enough. I buried comrades. Enough. I'm willing to bury now them again. Because enough is enough. Someone challenged me and said, why do you meet in church halls? Hoekom is jy die hele tyd in kerksale? Because religion and politics should not be together. And I say, you are wrong. It should start in the church. Because you are watching wrong. And if it's wrong, it's wrong. It's the dark. What is our duty in church? To bring light. Dis die dominees en die pastors en die reverends wat ons moet lei? No. Want dis hier waar ons die land moet verander. That's why I'm glad I'm in a church building today. The answer is clear. How do you climb Everest? You stop talking about it and you climb it. So what we need to do, Vanessa, is we need to, not tomorrow, not Friday, not Saturday, we need to start now. Because if I leave you, I'm again gone. Now I've got to come back again, and we have to restart the energy that this community hall, this hall, has decided to go on. En dan nog 'n ene. So ek sê, Pastor, it's time that we get to the media. It's time that we start advertising what we are about. It's time that we put it on shirts, on placards, on banners, in highways and in streets. And it's time that this community, who is the lowest of the low, stands up and ignites the fire in your next door community. If we don't do this tomorrow, then another week, another day, another death in your soul. So I'm telling you now, in public, like I've said, Neil de Beer is ready. The UIM is ready. Are you? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because if you're not, I'll find another group that's ready. Nou, julle moet die houtjies pak, Vanessa. Julle moet vir my die grill neersit, want ek bring die blits. Daar steek ons om brand, dan braai ons Sondag. Maar ek gaan nie wag op julle nie. Ek dink julle is al verby my. I must catch up. So, it's up to you. I've made my offer. I've stood my ground. If I just take Heideveld Council, if I just take this ward, one ward to council in the 27th election is enough for me. I don't need any more because I need one person to say just one thing in council every day. And if it's Heideveld, Vanessa, Pastor, then so be it.
Then lastly, quickly, Heideveld is not a poor community.
Sure.
We very rich. The only poor people around us is the rich people that only have money. We've got everything. We've got priceless gifts. The love, the passion, the unity. We will live to see tomorrow.
Sure.
So, what you are saying, sir, my heart and my flesh and my spirit wants to jump out of me. But allow me as church. So, to control myself, thank you for being with us. Thank you for igniting that fire. Tomorrow it will burn.
It will.
It will burn.
Amen. Anybody else? Ek dink ons is lank genoeg gepraat. I am old. May I ask, if I may, Pastor, could we maybe end this meeting the right way? So if I may. God bless you. I love you. And Vanessa, go steek blits maar. Thank you very much.